As you know, God led the Israelites out of Egypt. He parted the Red Sea. He sent plagues onto Egypt, all to get his people out of there. So what I wanted to share with you is the original journey from Egypt to where God wanted to take the Israelites was originally 11 days. 11 days. It took the Israelites to get from Egypt to where God was taking them. It took them 40 years. 11 days versus 40 years. So why did it take that long, might you ask? So the reason why it took the Israelites to get from point A to point B, the reason why it took them 40 years is because God had them wander around the wilderness. They were rebellious. They were complaining. They were idol worshiping. They were worshiping other things that weren't God, which in this day and age we do that a lot. We worship celebrities. We worship men, women. We worship relationships. We worship money, jobs, cars. We idol worship in this day and time as well. So due to the Israelites getting out there acting a plumb fool, God was like, all right, y'all going to have to stay out here a little bit longer. I'm going to keep you in this season of pruning and cleansing because you ain't got it right yet. And we're going to continue to go around this mountain until you get it right.
Welcome back to another Children of Yah teaching. If you are new to this, Children of Yah is a Bible teaching series for children where I'll be posting videos on YouTube teaching about the Most High Yah and His Word, the true Word. If you've listened to our last teaching, then you will know that it was on the first commandment. Episode 2 is entitled the second commandment. Let's get started with today's lesson. Open up your Bibles to Exodus 20, verses 4 through 6. I'll give you a moment to find it. Okay, Exodus 20, verses 4 through 6 says, "You shall not make a graven image for yourself, or any likeness in the heavens above, or in the earth beneath, or in the waters under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, and you shall not serve them. For I am Yah, your Father, a jealous Father, visiting the iniquity of fathers on sons, on the third and on the fourth generation to those that hate me, and doing kindness to thousands, to those loving me, and to those keeping my commandments." That means that you're to be careful that you do not make images of other gods to replace or take the place of Yah. A good example of this would be when the children of Israel made a golden calf to replace Yah because they were impatient. Exodus 32, verse 18 tells us, "And when Yah finished speaking with him on Mount Sinai, he gave to Moses the 2 tablets of the testimony, tablets of stone, written by the finger of Yah." Being that the children of Israel couldn't wait, they decided to take things into their own hands and create a god for themselves to replace Yah. Let's go to Exodus 32, verses 1 through 4. "And the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mountain. And the people gathered to Aaron, said to him, 'Rise up, make for us gods who may go before our face. As for this Moses, the man who brought us up from the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him.' And Aaron said to them, 'Break off the rings of gold which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me.' And all the people broke off the rings of gold in their ears, and they brought to Aaron. And he took them from their hand and formed it with an engraving tool. And he made it a golden calf. And they said, 'These are our gods, O Israel, who brought you up from the land of Egypt.'" Did you see what the children of Israel just did? They just broke the second commandment. In Exodus 20, verse 4 through 6, Yah said, "You shall not make a graven image for yourself, or any likeness in the heavens above, or in the earth beneath, or in the waters under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, and you shall not serve them." So let me explain to you how the children of Israel broke the second commandment. Basically, the children of Israel broke the second commandment by making a golden calf for themselves. Yah specifically said that you're not to make any image for yourself, whether it be in the heavens, on the earth, or in the water under the earth. Yah considers those who obey this commandment as those who love him, and those who disobey this commandment as those who hate him. Now let's go back to the scriptures and see how this lesson ends. Exodus 32, verses 5 through 6. And Aaron saw, and he built an altar before it. And Aaron called and said, "A feast to Yah tomorrow." And they rose early on the next day, and they offered burnt offerings, and brought near peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to make merry. So, not only did the children of Israel disobey Yah by creating a false image, which is an idol to replace him, now they're celebrating their disobedience by having a feast and making merry. This is totally wrong. So let's go back and finish. Exodus 32, verse 7 through 10 reads, And Yah spoke to Moses, "Come, go down, for your people whom caused you up to go from Egypt are corrupted. They have quickly turned off from the way which I commanded them. They have made for themselves a casted calf, and have bowed to it, and have sacrificed to it. And they have said, These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up from the land of Egypt. And Yah said to Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. And now leave me alone, that my anger may glow against them, that I may consume them, and I will make you a great nation." You see, Yah was furious with the children of Israel. Moses hadn't even come down from the mountain with the commandments, and they had already broken Yah's second commandment by creating a false idol. Bowing down to anything or anyone besides Yah is strictly forbidden. So, although we don't have enough time to finish the rest of this chapter, if you continue reading, Moses pleaded with Yah and begged him not to destroy the children of Israel and to have mercy on them. And Yah listened to Moses, but not without punishing them first. Let's go down and read Exodus 32, verses 19 through 20. And it happened, as he came near to the camp, and saw the calf and dances, the anger of Moses glowed, and he threw the tablets from his hands, and he broke them below the mountain. And he took the calf which they had made, and burned it with fire, and ground it until it was fine. Then he scattered it on the face of the water, and he made the sons of Israel to drink it. This was their punishment for breaking Yah's second commandment. They were forced to drink the false idol that they not only bowed down and worshipped, but sought to replace the Most High with. This should be clear enough for you, but if you still don't understand, here's another brief audio clip to listen to, and we'll be right back.
We don't really think about bowing down to something that we made. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but people do it all the time. And actually, too, the Bible is not just talking about a thing that you make with your hands when it says not to bow down to idols. Anything that comes between us and God can count as an idol. And I'll bet there's lots of things in your life, I know there are in my life, that can sometimes take the place of God. You know, for me, the thing that really made me realize this about how sometimes I can let things get in between me and God was, well, there's this new video game that I got, and it's really fun, okay? It's kind of like paintball, okay? But it's like you shoot these giant paintballs at each other, and it's a video game. It's not real. And you shoot these giant paintballs, and it makes this huge mess all over the stage, and there's different colors and all this stuff, and you can have, like, different abilities and stuff with the paint, and it's super, super fun. I love playing this game. Pretty much all my free time I spend playing this game. It is super crazy fun. And I played a lot, and I played a lot, and I played a lot, and it's really fun. I can play with my friends online even. And this year I decided that I wanted to read my Bible, and I wanted to pray every single day. I wanted to spend some time with God. And I started noticing that this game, sometimes I'd wake up in the morning and I'd just go play the game for a few minutes before school instead of reading my Bible. Yeah, and then sometimes when I get back from school, I would still forget to read my Bible, but I'd play this game, and I'd just keep playing and playing and playing. And it got really, really bad one day. The day that I realized that this was a big problem was, well, it was a Sunday morning, and I woke up, and I did not feel like going to church. Okay, I know I've had days like that. I think we've all had days like that where you just don't feel like getting up and going to church. But I wanted to play this game, so I did something bad. I mean, it was very bad. What I did was I told my dad that I was sick, and I kind of did the fake coughing or whatever, and I said that I felt like I needed to stay home from church, and my parents trust me, and so they said, yeah, okay, Douglas, you can stay home. We'll see you after church. And so they left. And as soon as they left, I got out of bed and I started playing this game, and I got through like one level, and I realized, what am I doing? I thought about it, and I was like, what am I doing here? What has happened? I've let this game come between me and God. And there's nothing in particularly wrong with this game, right? But I let it come between me and God. This game really became my God, which is not good. That's a bad thing, because this is just a game. Somebody made that thing. It's just a thing somebody made. But I was giving all my devotion, all my time, all my attention to this game. And so what I did actually was, I told my parents. I had to confess to them what I did, and so I got in some trouble for lying to them. But even beyond the punishment that I got from them, what I decided for myself was that I wasn't going to play this game for a whole month. Yeah, and again, it's not a bad game. It's okay. It's fine. But I let it get between me and God, so I decided to take some time away from it. And so whether it's a game, or whether it's a person, or whether it's a group of people, or an activity, anything in our lives that comes between us and God is an idol. And we are not to bow down to these idols. We are not to put anything in the place of God. God is God. And we should not let anything come between us and Him. And another part of this commandment is we really need to be careful about idols, actual idols, things that people made and then they worship as a god. Sometimes we don't even realize we see them. There's like these things. Probably the idol that I see the most is the Buddha. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's this little fat guy, and he's got a big smile, and they just make him out of stone or clay or something, and he sits in the corner, and he's got the big dumb smile. He's like, and he's all tubby on his tummy. That's an idol. Yeah, that's a false god that people are worshiping. And there are other false gods too, other idols out there, and we need to be really careful about them. Not to have them in our homes, and certainly not to pray to them. That can seem kind of crazy. But even having them in your house can be pretty bad. And so my challenge to you guys today is that we would not worship idols, whether it's a real kind of idol where it's like made out of stone or clay or wood, or whether it is something else in our lives that is just anything coming between us and God. Let's not let anything come between us and the God who loves us.
Okay, and we're back. Did you hear that? An idol doesn't have to be an actual object or a thing that you have in your house. It can be anything that you give your time and or attention to more than Yah. In the video, the character Douglas allowed his video game to become his idol. Like he said, it's okay to enjoy things. Just don't make the mistake of making things that you enjoy doing your idol. Our last scripture of today will be Psalms 135, verses 15 through 18. The idols of the nations are silver and gold, the works of men's hands. They have mouths, but they say nothing. They have eyes, but they see nothing. They have ears, but they hear nothing. Yes, there is no breath in their mouths. Those who make them are like them, everyone who is trusting in them. Now, what do we learn today? Today we learned that it's against the second commandment to make a decision of bowing down to a false idol to replace Yah. But don't let this be the end of your lesson. Sit down and have a discussion with your parents about what you learned. Type your comments below this video. I would like to hear your thoughts. Remember, kids, you are one of Yah's unique creations, and He loves you very much. Don't make the same mistake as the children of Israel did by creating a false image to replace Yah, because worshiping idols is dumb. This is Children of Yah, signing off. Thank you for listening. Shabbat Shalom.